things go through your mind and you have your focus points. And I remember saying to myself, this is my opportunity. If I want to get to the top, this is my opportunity in my career, a one-off opportunity, especially for the club. Just give everything. And that's something which we all did. We gave everything.
That day couldn't have gone any better except for Muzzy, victim of a
awful,
absolutely disgusting challenge from McAteer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was. I remember we saw it. Again, and how it happened. I'll be honest, it was a bit freaky, really, in terms of how it actually happened and what. I'd never seen an injury like that before. And yeah, do you know what? It was a huge blow at the time, but we dealt with it. Again, it was just another challenge that we managed to get past.
Then the final whistle went, and I think all hell had broke loose, didn't it? I think that not only did we realise that we were going to be playing in the FA Cup final, didn't give a shit who we were playing, because I think the second game was after ours.
Yeah.
But then it suddenly dawned upon us that we're all going on a European tour the season after.
Yeah.
Because I think that Man United and Arsenal were guaranteed European football or something, weren't they?
Yeah.
First and second in the Premier League or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I just didn't know what to do myself when that whistle went. It was, I didn't have to laugh, to cry, where to run. It was just one of the moments in your life that it was just so special. Honestly, it just stands out. And even now, it fills me with like incredible amount of excitement just to think that we were there. We got to the semi-final at Old Trafford and won the most historic domestic cup that goes throughout the world, the history behind it, to the highest profile. We're in the final. What is going on?
Little old Millwall.
Yeah, exactly. It's incredible. We just didn't want to leave. We just didn't want to leave. We were literally celebrating. We must have jumped on each other 20 times. You just keep on. You see Wire jumping him. You see other. You go back to Wires. You go back to the Delivers. You go back to Wires. It was just immense. And then when we headed back, it was kind of like, we have to kind of. Although we're celebrating, we had a game on the Tuesday, I think it was, against Cardiff at home. So, as much as we were over the moon, that we had a game, and we had to go and produce the goods, because there was still the league to finish.
But in between all of that, there was a memorable local derby on Mother's Day, the Mother's Day Massacre.
Yeah.
And wasn't your brother at West Ham at the time?
He was, but he was coming through the ranks at the time, if I remember. We did play against him at Upton Park. I think it was the following season. Yeah, it was. But he was coming through. What a game. What a game. Our son, he's watched it loads. And with Michael Carrick playing, Repka, Daly, he had some good players in that team. But how we just handled that, and it was just, again, it just added to the season, didn't it? It was just incredible game. And one, it was just great to win.
Because of the intense rivalry between the two sides, they were generally pretty close games. But I think that summed up Millwall that season, that when we really wanted to play, there weren't many teams in that division that could really live with us.
I agree. We were very focused on getting into those playoffs. If we had a full team, everyone was fit, we backed ourselves to get in that playoffs. But when you've got such a long cut run, and you've got replays, as we deal with one anyway, that it takes its toll on the squad. It really does, and it did in many ways. So we knew that if that squad was added to, if we could in some way, which I think that was Theo's plan at the end of that season, that we could move on, march on. We knew Timmy was going. Timmy knew he was going. there was a lot of interest for me at the time. Although I said, look, I want to stay. I want to get promotion. We've come close. Obviously, FA Cup run. I want to push for promotion. I want to get promotion here. And yeah, things just didn't quite work out that way.
Yeah, I think what isn't remembered about that Mother's Day massacre was we actually missed a penalty in it, didn't we? I think as well, and yeah, but it could have been even worse for them.
A lot was going on in that game. I remember it. It was kind of a nice early one, and we were just all up for it. Again, things just clicked. Things just clicked. We were winning every ball. We were a front foot. We were making tackles. I've seen some of the tackles, and yeah, just laughing away. I remember just solid throughout. Matty Lawrence at the back, always a pleasure to play with. We were just kind of just on one the whole season. And you looked at us as a team. You looked at us certainly as a back four. That Robbie Ryan, not quick. Yeah, Kevin Muscat, not overly quick, great experience. Myself, fairly quick, not overly. Matty Lawrence, the same. And yet we were just really, with David, don't get me wrong, David Livermore was fantastic that season. Absolutely. He was so good for us in that team. He wasn't overly technically great, which he'd be first to admit. Had his ups and downs with the crowd at times. But what he contributed for us as a back four and the goalkeeper was priceless.
Yeah, but he added a bit of protection, didn't he? And he did simple things. Yeah, but it wasn't anything spectacular. He left that to Timmy Cahill, didn't he? And people like that.
Right. He let him get all the applaud.
Yeah, and he just played the little balls, didn't he? And broke play up. It was kind of a Jimmy Abdu type of thing a few years later, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think with Livers, it was just he had a bit of a famous scissor kick tackle. Probably wouldn't get away with it nowadays, but the amount of times where if we were getting countered, he would just motor through, clean the guy out with the ball, and it was just such a relief for us. He was a real anchor for us, and yeah, it was again he played his part in a kind of under the radar sort of way.
So what was the build up to the cup final like? I can remember it like yesterday, and getting me ticket, getting me son's ticket, getting me dad a ticket. He was a Man United fan.
Yeah.
Coming from Manchester, and it just is surreal that Millwall were going to the cup final.
Yeah. We do you know what? There was so much when we won the semis, we still had a lot of games in the league. We had quite a few fixtures, and you can imagine we just attracted everyone and everything. We done a song which didn't get into the charts because some sort of mix of the rights with it or whatever it was. We had suits. We had to film the kind of song as well. We had all these sponsors come down. We had newspapers, magazines. I got voted the second worst haircut in Europe or the world or whatever in one of them, and all these things which are going on, and I felt it was quite difficult to focus leading up to it. You had everyone asking for tickets. Oh God, we were given like, oh God knows how many. On average, players were getting like 40, 50, 60 tickets, having to buy them. And that in itself isn't, that's a lot you've got to do there. All the bits in and around it. So
our form suffered, didn't it? Really, from from memory, we didn't go off the radar. We went off the bloody cliff, I think.
No, it was
surprising.
It was, and that was something which I remember Ray was talking about. He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy that our league suffered as much as it did, and he really let us know about that. But we didn't have a big squad. Players, this is a once in a lifetime possible opportunity for most there to get into the final. And naturally some will kind of take their foot off the gas and want to protect their future in that game. But I just remember there was so much. Why has he brought in someone to kind of manage all that? And we were told, look, all of us will be offered a lot of money for kind of newspaper kind of conversations and radio, and and magazines and all sorts, and be offered sponsorships and all this. And we all agreed to put it all in one pot.
Yeah, the infamous player pools.
That pot is still somewhere at the bottom of the ocean, I think, but it certainly didn't come back to us as players. And,
you bringing Eric Hall by any chance?
Oh, it was something else. And even to this day, God knows where it is and what happened with it. But I certainly didn't see any of it. And you look at the likes of Timmy, Neil Harris, Dennis, obviously. I'd done quite a bit, but those guys are the ones that everyone wanted to talk about a lot of the time. That collectively we generate a lot of money. And again, where this went, I don't know. And then when we got to the final, it was kind of like, yeah, just get on with it. Just get on with it. We did get looked after really well. We had a lovely hotel. Went up there a couple of days before, got settled in. And you know what, quite relaxed when we got there. It was quite relaxed. I remember training a local area. It was just kind of a non-league, I think, facility outdoors. Nice and gentle, nice and relaxed. And really just prepared, because we had all the family to come and join us after the final at the hotel, hoping that we'd be coming back holding the cup. But yeah, we knew that it was going to be really difficult, because Deitch was obviously not playing. He got booked. Muzzy was injured. Again, Wisey was struggling. We knew he was struggling.
There was no Denzel.
Yeah, exactly. He was on his way, wasn't he? Yeah. Andy Marshall was obviously between the sticks. So yeah, that's a lot to take. Had Marvin Elliott, he went to right back, trying to mark Ryan Giggs, and you had Robbie Ryan on the other side trying to mark Ronaldo. Matty, myself.
Ronaldo in his pocket, hasn't he?
Oh, I just remember saying to Ronnie, to Robbie, show him down the line, show him wide all the time, show him wide. We had, obviously, Matt and myself, we were dealing with Van Nistelrooy through the middle, and it was just incredible. I've got a roll of pictures I've kept quite a lot of stuff from it, and I've given it to my son, and he keeps it in his room now. It's in his room, right? And he just keeps looking at it and seeing his dad's name up on the kind of monitor there, that and that we were kind of walking out to what, 70,000 or 80,000 people, and someone said to us that, was it just, I forgot how many millions it was that were watching it on TV. Just a wonderful experience, and you just didn't want it to end.
Did the magnitude of the occasion, when did that hit you? When you were walking out, that you suddenly thought, Christ, there's millions of people watching this all around the world?
Do you know what? We warmed up and we got together. Matty was captain. Matty normally have a little word, and then Chopper, he said something which I always have a laugh about, and certainly made us laugh. So we're literally just about to start the game, and we got together, and Chopper shouted out, like, we're all together, huddled together. He went, "Oi, boys, there's an FA Cup final today." And we just started laughing, like as if we were in a pub watching it. And it helped us to relax. And you know what? Until what, 42 minutes was it? First goal, Ronaldo header. We were starting to believe that if we get these in at 0-0 at half time, you have half a chance. You have a chance. When that goal went in, it wasn't good timing. And against any team, especially against Man United in the FA Cup final, you've got your back against the wall. So look, 3-0 against Man United in the final, 3-4, maybe 5 players out. Certainly one who's struggling throughout the game. Teams have got beaten worse in the final who are of a higher level at the time.
Yeah, because I think Andy Marshall had the game of his life in that first half, didn't he? He stopped everything that came down Robbie Ryan's wing.
Yeah, Marshy had a really good game. Do you know what, Marshy, lovely guy, stepped in, he done really well for the club. I remember he made a good save. I think I had one off the line with my knee, looked a bit strange, but yeah, just there was quite a few chances. But that's going to be expected, isn't it? And we knew that.
There were levels, weren't there, basically, in that game, and we
yeah,
were at one level, and Fergie was out of the stratosphere, wasn't he? We weren't in the same postcode, let alone the same planet.
he was. But you know what? We were just we just loved the occasion. You know, we'd won that semi-final. That for me was the massive game for us.
That was our final, really, wasn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah. To put it that way is a good way of putting it. And you know, to give that to the fans, we were so happy, obviously for each other, but the fans. Yeah, we were just we've collectively, not just the players, the fans, the support was amazing all the way through. And we just didn't want to go home. We didn't want it to end. One of those moments just didn't want to end. Yeah, unfortunately, it has to. And yeah, unfortunately, careers have to end, and we have to move on.
Did we get the tactics wrong in that game? Because we didn't appear to. Yeah, wasn't it 70, 80 minutes before we even had a shot on target?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't. Return of stats, shots on goal wasn't great. But I think Dennis, and he'd probably admit this and be open about it, that I think he was quite mindful of getting drummed by Man United, getting beat 5-6-0. He was leading up to that. I remember he was very defence minded again. We had a lot of work, and we worked heavily on defence to keep him out, to maybe get a set piece, a counter attack. We worked quite a lot on the right hand side, knowing that John O'Shea was going to play left back against Ifes. But I think Ifes had a bit of a wake up call when he realised how good John O'Shea was, and he couldn't just kick it and run. And I think we all kind of stood back and thought, wow, there's not many people stop Ifes in full flow. And John did that. You just look at their team, you know, it was just, what a team, you know, and even then, 3-0 with, again, a depleted side, that's not bad. I think
technically it should only have been 2-0 because it was never a penalty.
Do you know what? I think not a penalty, but also I thought that Van Nistelrooy's goal was offside.
So we only lost 1-0.
We lost 1-0. And why is he?
Millwall podcast is rewriting football history.
Yeah, it was a draw. We should have had half the cup, at least penalties. But the first goal, I remember, why is he? I think he should have done a bit better, and I think he'd be first to admit it. Although at the time he wasn't. So the first goal was a poor goal for us. Second goal, not quite. If you look closely for Van Nistelrooy's goal, I thought he was offside. VAR now is offside, but he was so close that yeah, it is what it is.
And then obviously, we go away. The following season, we're in Europe. What a dream! Ferencváros. Nobody had heard of them. Nobody knew where they were, and we thought we could probably win it, didn't we? I think it's quite safe to say.
You know what? I thought we did, but what we heard was that out of all the teams we could have drawn, they were the best. That's what we heard at the time. And
so we were stitched up.
Well, yeah. And to be honest, to be honest with ourselves, I think the home leg we should have done better. Shouldn't have conceded, and we certainly should have done better. When we went away, we just had a mad moment. Just a mad moment. What, they scored 3 in, what was it, 15 minutes or what? I don't know where it was, but
mad, wasn't it?
Oh, it just deflated us. But even then, we felt we could get back in it. Grew into the game a bit more, but you know, again, it was disappointing. We were really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to having a good run. It just didn't work out.
Very hostile over there, wasn't it? Did that affect the players at all? Or
you know what? We weren't happy about that. We weren't happy. How we were treated when we got out there was pretty poor. We trained on the pitch the night before. We had to, when we got there, we parked. We had probably a good 5-10 minute walk to the changing rooms. There was a number of things that happened, which can't really go into too much detail, but it wasn't good. And the blessing in disguise, I felt, and I've always said this after that game, we were lucky that we played them away the second leg as a club, we felt, because if we played the second leg at Millwall then, I think that would have been disaster for everyone.
Well, we could have made them walk from South Bermondsey Station, couldn't we?
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be number one on the list. But in terms of us all putting our sensible hats on and being realistic, they were wrong. What happened out there was horrific, and it was certainly tactical in many ways. But I feel quite, grateful that in a way that the second leg was out there, because I think that could have had huge repercussions if that was the other way around.
Could have been worse than Birmingham.
I think it would have been a lot worse than Birmingham. So again, it was just one of those things which we were gutted, absolutely gutted, and I was, because not long after I just signed a new contract when Timmy had left, went to Everton. I'll be honest, Moyes was watching both of us. My agent spoke to me about a move. He spoke to David Moyes, and Moyes said that I'd love to take both of them, Darren Ward and Timmy Cahill, but we can't, as a Premiership side, take two Championship players. Can't do it. And obviously Timmy was hot property. I had a number of clubs at the end of that season, like Tim, who wanted to sign me, a lot of Premiership clubs. And I said, look, I want to get promoted. I want to stay. I want to get promoted. We managed to do a deal, sign a 3-year deal with Theo. Stayed, brought in Jody Morris, brought in a couple of players, a couple of guys from Canada, that famous trip.
Siri, the long throw merchant.
Josh Simpson was it? And
Josh Simpson.
And it just didn't work out, did it? It just kind of fell to bits in a way during that season.
What did anything of that have to do with Theo making the decision to sell the club and then Dennis Wise leaving?
Yeah, there was a number of things that happened during that season. Again, even from a player side of it, we've lost Timmy. Muzzy was injured. It took time to get back. It was serious. Did he bring in the players that, was the money used to the level that it probably should have done? Was the squad developed? I think people were probably, if they're honest themselves, it wasn't. And after getting to a cup final and missing out on the playoffs, there was only one thing in our minds: we want to get in that playoffs, or at least and get promotion. And it just didn't happen. And that was really, I'll be honest, that was a really disappointing part of my first spell at Millwall when that happened, because it happened quite early as well. And I remember I was gutted. And it was quite deflating within the changing room.
So you get through that season. Like you say, you've reached an agreement. Theo's left. Jeff Burnage has come in. Dennis Wise has left, and we're in disarray. And then you go and sign for that mob down the road. What in the earth was going on there? Come on.
Right. So there's a lot behind this. When I left, I had 2 years left on my contract, and I had a lot of clubs who wanted to sign me. My agent was saying that everyone in the Championship wanted to sign me. There was a number of clubs in the Premiership. I had Rangers in Scotland, I think, wanted to sign me. The price was just going up and up and up. I was regarded as the best centre half in the Championship. It was clubs were just outpricing each other. It started off at something like 700,000, went out to 8, 9, a million, 1.1. It just kept going up. And I remember What-Ifs phoning me. I was actually at bingo. I went out to bingo with some friends. But no, it's that's my parents.
Credibility, no good at all.
I needed some time out. I went bingo. I'd never played it in my life. Didn't win a thing. I remember speaking to What-Ifs during bingo, and he went, Wardy, Neil Warnock wants to sign you, Sheffield United. I went, yeah. Well, there's a number of other clubs who I feel are bigger than Sheffield United who want to sign me. I said, look, I'll speak to my agent, see what happens. You know, I'm still at Millwall, and I want to see what happens here because nothing's been said. I still have 2 years of my contract. And then conversation over. He signed, he got promoted. And I had it come down to 3 clubs at that time. I went to get a deal done quickly. I was told I had to leave. I was told by Jeff Burnage. I remember the conversation in my apartment. I had in St Albans at the time, in between, you know, places I had. And Jeff Burnage told me that I have to leave. I have to leave. If I don't leave, the club are going under. I'm the most valuable asset of the club now, and I need to go. And I'm like, wait a minute, Jeff, I've got 2 years of my deal here. And what's going on? He said, there's no 2 ways about it. You're going. So I said, right. So from what I was aware of, I had Norwich, who just got relegated from the Prem. I think it was. You had Crystal Palace, same. And you had West Ham, who just got promoted to the Premiership. So I was kind of like, right, well, I was being told by a lot of people to hold out, because there was people telling me Aston Villa, Tottenham, who else at the time? Derby, maybe. There was quite a few Premiership clubs who were interested, and I said, look, I've just played every minute. I think I played something like 112 games on the spin. It was well over 100, or well over. It was over 100.
Actually, for 2 seasons, weren't you?
Oh, it was a lot of games I played, and I played 55 games in the FA Cup final year, and I think it was something like 50, 52 maybe the season after, and then the season before that added up the games. So I said, look, Jeff, I want to get something done. If I have to go, I want to get something done quick because I want to have a good summer. I don't want it dragging out, and I think it'd get a bit messy. So in the end, things were directed towards Palace, and certain things were out my hands, and that is a fact. So things went on. I couldn't join West Ham for a number of reasons. One,
you'd have got lynched.
Well, look at my options: West Ham, Palace, Norwich. So I've got a tough decision. I'm all set where I am. So where I was living at the time in Lakeside, I had everything set. I didn't have to move. I had a lot of things going on in terms of like family and, you know, obviously my wife now, girlfriend at the time. And Norwich just wasn't appealing to me. It wasn't. Palace come in, and I was very heavily encouraged to sign for them when I had the conversation with Mill at the time, and it was probably to do with the relationship Simon Jordan and Theo had.
Yeah, they were quite. Yeah, they had a love-hate relationship, didn't they? They were quite good mates, I think.
Yeah, they were at the time, very good mates, and do you know what? Looking back, I probably should have waited. I probably should have waited in terms of I wanted to get back in the Premiership, and my view was I'm a Premiership player. And this is my time to be in there. I was at the highest point of my career. FA Cup season, the season after, probably 2 years after that. That was when I should have played a lot more, and I should have played a lot more games in the Premiership. But decisions took me elsewhere. So
In fact, you actually won promotion to the Premier League a little bit later with Wolves.
Yeah.
And then you came back.
That's right.
In what, September 2009 on loan initially, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
yeah, that was quite a decent season for us. I think it was Kenny again. Kenny brought you back, didn't he?
Yeah. I remember I was in the car, got a phone call, sitting at a petrol station. Kenny, obviously knew Kenny from when I was 13, 14. He said, look, love to have you back. I know there's going to be a big issue with the wages. But I just felt, you know, and again, there was a lot of clubs interested. I dropped 2 leagues. I was in the Premiership. I dropped 2 leagues to join Millwall in League One. I had a number of clubs in the Championship, a lot of clubs, and obviously in League One, but it was only one club I was going to join. I was only one club. It was a massive, in terms of, you know, my career, it's a massive jump. You're dropping 2 leagues here. I was, 30 at the time, just turned 31, 31. I knew that, you know, your career isn't going to last forever. I didn't know I was going to play professional football for another 8 years. But, you know, with what happened when I left, I just felt that I had to. I thought I had to. What am I doing in League One? You know, with all due respect, I can't. That wasn't what I wanted. That's not. No one wants at Millwall. I just felt that I had to do it. It was nearer home again, and I made that move.
And that was a decent season actually for us, wasn't it? We got to the League One playoff final. I think we played Swindon, didn't we?
Yeah. That
year, and we won 1-0 thanks to Charlie Austin.
Yeah. Oh God. Do you know what? Funny that. We knew we were winning that. We knew. That was I when I first come in. It was a rough ride for me. I wasn't fit. I was thrown in straight to. I said, "Yeah, I'll play against Gillingham." I wasn't fit. I hadn't played in a while. We got beat, and I thought, "Oh my days, what's going on?" Kenny was fuming, but we just, again, things just started to snowball. As the season went on, I got an injury, had a bit of time out, come back in, and we just flew. When we got in those playoffs, we didn't concede a goal from the first playoff game away to Huddersfield, home game, total domination, and in the final, we just knew. In football, some of these moments don't come about very often. Where you know you're going to win. You know, no matter what happens, you're winning this game. We had an amazing squad. Kenny again just kept things simple, so simple for us, and we just gave everything. On that Charlie Austin incident, I remember Robbo tried to switch play, and he's cut it out, and I'm chasing back, and he's just about to shoot, and I've shouted out after said, "Shank!" like that. And you'll see me shout, and he's hit this mound, and as soon as he's hit it, his face has just dropped, and everyone just couldn't believe it, because he was a very good striker, and those opportunities he'd normally put away. But I think the pitch helped us there.
Yeah, because obviously we were 1-0 up. Robbo had scored, didn't they?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and it was going swimmingly well. Then probably the one player on the pitch you'd have banked on scoring was Charlie Austin. And it ended up in the Swindon fans, didn't it? It was absolutely mental.
They caught it, yeah. But we were just, you saw, I've seen pictures after, the relief, the excitement, the thrill, it was just, because of the year before, obviously, where Millwall fell short in the final of Gary Alexander's goal, that it was just a relief to play at Wembley, to win at Wembley, to get a clean sheet, to be back in the Championship, where, you know, for the club, amazing. And personally, we all had our own individual personal reasons that I was out of contract. I had no contract. If we had lost, that who knows what would have happened. So, and everyone was in the same boat where, you know, it was so much at stake here. So where the kind of thought process was right, get back to Millwall, help collectively to get us back in this championship and push on. That was just a real relief and a target tick for myself.
Yeah, I think it was redemption because of the season before. In many people's eyes, because we should have got something out of that Scunthorpe game. Gary Alexander scores the best goal that Wembley's ever seen and ever will see. And then we get back there the following season when I think second half of that season, I think we were untouchable. Steve Morrison, absolutely magnificent, wasn't he? As he proved in that Huddersfield semi-final, that second leg.
Yeah, Steve was on fire. His pace, he just scared the living daylights out of all defenders. You left him 1v1, even 2v1 on the halfway line, you're in trouble. He just had the knack of spinning players, whether it's just literally 1v1 marking, spinning players, getting the end of a ball, holding the ball up, out to in runs. He was fantastic and earned him a move from that as well.
Yeah, that's what put him on the map, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you had a couple more seasons at Millwall, I think, and then it kind of went a bit south towards the end, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. At the time, it was. You know, I'm talking about how I was feeling at the time. Felt a lot of frustration, to be honest. Felt I played well enough at certain times to stay in the team, to build on with the team. But that never happened. I left again. It was, you know, I was what, 32, 33 at the time. Some people, yeah, gone, but again, I knew that I'd still had plenty in the tank to perform at a good level. I felt I was still good enough to play at Millwall and to play in the Championship. I started the season against Blackpool at home, yeah, I thought I had a good game again. But after that, it was Kenny had his own thoughts, and I respect that. There were a few things that happened in between I wasn't happy with. Didn't need to happen. That certainly didn't. Ultimately, life goes on. Life goes on, and I had to go. I had to leave then.
Yeah, because I think you said you were treated like a schoolboy. I read in the interview.
Yeah, I think at the time there was a lot of frustration in me. You know, Kenny's been brilliant for me, and these things happen. I think we'd both agree that when I left, it could have been dealt with better from both sides, and I think if we're both open and honest about that would be agreed. There's no question. I've seen Kenny many times since, and all's good. All's good. I've known Kenny for 30 years nearly. You know, we go back a long, long way. He's coached, I think, all my brothers. There's 4 of us. He's had a huge impact in our lives to help us 3 out of 4 become professionals. And Kenny's been inspirational, and I haven't got a bad word to say against him, other than just a massive thanks, because he's been inspirational. And there's a lot of frustration for me when I left, because I wanted to keep playing. I wanted to play for him. I wanted to play for Kenny, but it was time to go. Sometimes you just feel, right, I just got to move on now, and that's what happened.
So you carried on playing, I think, until last season, the season before at Hemel Hempstead.
Yeah.
But you've had business interests, categories, finances, and soccer schools. Yeah. What are you up to these days?
I'm finishing off my A licence. I've been in a position, temporary manager at Swindon when I was there, when Paolo Di Canio left. I got offered the job at the time. Said no, I want to keep playing with Tommy Miller. And it's a good choice. I think from then I must have played about between 150 and 200 games. At Hemel, I found myself in the position as caretaker manager again for 3 games. Done well, got offered a job. Didn't think it was right at the time. Wanted to keep playing, which I did. Played a lot of games that season. But it's hard. It was hard to come down the leagues when I felt I could have played for longer at a high level. Things happen in football, and you look back and you think, why did I put my trust in that person? And that person, certain people that you just learn your lesson. And what I feel now is stick to what you know best. So what I know best is football. Hopefully I'll have my A license signed off soon. I've been offered quite a few jobs around. But what I feel in football is that there's not enough stability. Whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, there's no stability. You don't know where you're going to be from week to week, let alone month or year to year. So my view of it is to help to create a stable kind of safety net in a way through DW Soccer School. Not knowing that we'll be opening up just before a lockdown to get back for another lockdown. So it's been challenging, but I'll be honest, the response that we've had from players and parents has been fantastic, really, really good. And some of the feedback we get, we had a feedback this morning from a parent, and it's lovely. It's lovely to give some of that to football. Once this is established, which hopefully will be soon, I'm still looking for options. Once the stability is in my life, in terms of if anything that happens, I don't want to be taking jobs in football at a professional level solely because I want that job or I need that job. I want to go, if I go into a job knowing I've got something to fall back on, which so many coaches and managers don't. That's important to me, and that's my plan. So hopefully in a year or 2 time, hey, you might even see me back at Mill to some degree. You never know.
Was that something that would interest you, going into the coaching side down at that lovely basket case of a club of ours?
I'm very thick-skinned. I'm very determined. I've been in position twice as a manager, and really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I'm comfortable with it. I've dealt with coaching men, the ins and outs of dealing with agents, dealing with players, young and old, cultures, backgrounds, finances, all this. I'm comfortable with it. But it's got to be right. I have a family. I have responsibilities. I'm going to be very, very transparent, so I always am. I want to build trust. Trust is huge. If you don't have trust, you have nothing. You have to have trust, especially in football. If you're managing, you're coaching, you've got to be a great leader. You have to be. It's so important. None of this management anymore. It's gone. It's leadership all the way. You see some of the best coaches and managers in the world. They're fantastic leaders. Obviously very good coaches and have a good squad around them. Assembled a very good team. Leadership's huge, and I've got into a lot of that. I've got quite a few qualifications in different areas, and will continue to do so. If something comes up, great. But if it doesn't, then we'll just see what happens.
Darren, that seems like quite an appropriate end to end our hour and a half together. That it's actually
more. Yeah, could have been more.
Mate, we could have gone on all evening. Yeah. I just want to say thank you very much to Darren Ward for joining us this evening. And I wish you all the best, Darren.
Really appreciate it. Loved every minute of it. And yeah, good luck for the future.